eating there, pizza at supper time. When pizza's on a bagel, you can have fuck that shit. It's time for another episode of a Schmoke
and a Pancake. We're here. Episode 6. Beard Villain, Johnny Malloy, Jerry, with my companion, my cohort, Pancakes, Eric.
I don't think, you know what, I was going to say the fat guy next to you, but I think that's pretty well known.
Yeah. I think your weight epidemic. Oh, I don't use the word epidemic or pandemic.
Damn.
It's a sensitive thing. Your morbid obesity. I don't want to say morbid because there is some hope to it. Diabetes has got you reeling. Diabetes has got you reeling. Yes.
Damn that diabetes.
Episode 6. A Schmoke and a Pancake. We're just popping them out.
I don't know. Like, you know what it is? We just gained this utter need to continue to bring these episodes out and share our thoughts. And as I said last episode, it would not have happened if it wasn't for you guys out there listening to us every time we decide to open our mouths.
I think it's kind of like a snowball effect, you know? We're at the top of the hill, it's something little, it gets rolling, it's picking up snow, and it's getting bigger, and it's getting bigger, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yep.
Or at least I hope.
There's no hope. The only hope...
There is no hope.
There is no hope.
ECPW.
Yeah.
There is no hope. I meant the wrong Konkama one. The rest are fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, so before we wipe your feet...
Wipe your feet!
It's time for that weekly segment. I think it goes by the...
Weed of the Week! What do we got today, Jerry?
This week's weed is called Strawana or Strawana.
Ooh, sounds fancy.
It is a hybrid between bubblegum strain and banana OG.
I love bubblegum.
Indica 17 to 26%, depending on who grew this.
You know what? As long as the soil's black as night, then it should grow just nice.
Is that like a thing though? Is that I'm really asking. Is that like a thing? Like dark soil is important?
I believe that dark soil is important.
Okay.
That as long as it depends on what you put into the soil.
Well, this was grown, I know for a fact, on 100% fresh, lean Wakandan ground soil.
Wakandan.
It doesn't get blacker than that.
Wow. Moving on!
With that said, we got some Michter's American Whiskey. I raise a glass to episode 6.
Salud! Ho! Smooth!
So.
Smooth!
And of course, Strawana sounds better. Strawana.
It sounds like a mistress.
Let's give it a shot. Strawana don't live here no more. Do you remember that song? Shaniqua Don't Live Here No More?
I do.
Little T and One Track Mike?
Yes.
You know what? We're going to put a link in the description.
Government came and took my baby.
You can download our cover of Shaniqua Don't Live Here Anymore. No, it's Strawana time.
Strawana. Oh, yeah! Strawana.
I love the opener because I have no idea where it's going to go. I mean, the whole show we have no idea, but like, it can go from just blind racism to hopeful banter, to topics, news, and events, memorials, and everything in between. And I think that's the everything in between in our motto: wrestling and everything in between. Including,
I thought that what was in between was the swamp city I got going on with this freaking weather.
It's not even that hot. It was like 65 degrees.
I'm fat. Of course it's gonna be hot. I got swamp ass just sitting here.
You get a nasty Saturday night. Just you on the porch.
Just sitting there in my rocking chair.
Basting in your juices. Basting
in my juices. Hanging out by the swamp.
Speaking of basting in our juices and hanging out by the swamp, let's get to our first topic.
Alright, topic number 1. Talk about a bullshit reason you no-showed or pulled out of a show.
Now here's the part where I always ask you to clarify what exactly you want, and then you say you don't know, and then I give a suggestion and you agree with the first one.
Okay? Just any bullshit reason that you pulled out of a show. Like, you know,
I don't think
was not a good reason, but you gave it as your reason.
Well, in your opinion, let's flip it. Let's ask you, what are a good reason to pull out of a show?
That's good. That's kind of a good thing to go with. Like, what would
if there
you
was
feel?
A family emergency, I guess that would be considered a good reason. I mean,
Okay.
you can't help something like that, but most other reasons are bullshit reasons.
But that's
I
usually
can't
what
really
the case
think of-
is. Bullshit reasons are always the bullshit reason.
Well, I remember one time I was at an FTW show and I was on my way there. My grandpa died. Oh no, I was already there. This is a horrible one to start with. This is a really, really hard one to start with. This is a really hard one to get going.
All right, you want me to
No, I mean that was part of what I was. That was part of the conversation.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'll tell you what. I had one, and actually, it was your show. It was a long time ago.
Okay.
And I think, if I remember correctly, I think the reason of it being, I don't remember exactly what the reason was, but the reason of it could have been, if I remember correctly, is the fact that I think it was because, and I'm going to be totally honest, because I love you, in a non-homosexual way.
Nothing wrong with that, but continue.
Exactly. I think it was because maybe in the beginning I had an issue with tagging with Nightmare at the time.
Oh yeah, maybe.
I mean, not for nothing. I mean, don't get me wrong. We got over as a tag team. You gave us great opportunities. I just think I felt like I felt like it was just for my own selfish reasons.
In the time that you and Nightmare tagged, I think I had 3 people that I booked with in that time. Head Rush,
Right.
Dennis John,
Right.
and Harold O'Hart
Okay.
at points. And at different times, I remember sitting in a room and I was just shaking because I was so mad at you and Nightmare.
I know. I think I remember this.
This is almost every show. And every time whoever I was booked would say, why do you do it? All they do is complain. They find things. They find things to fight about. They find reasons to clap. Every single show, no matter what you do, and no matter what they're doing, they can open the show, bump every heel on the roster, close the show winning the tag titles with like Hulk Hogan and the Patriot, carrying them around ring on their shoulders. And at the end of the show, both guys will come to you separately and go, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
And he added his tag team. And I just looked at him and I went, they're so popular. They're so over.
You know what?
I can't cancel it. It's so fucking over.
You know what it is? And I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. And I'm not putting any gray on Nightmare or anything. I think Mike is a nice guy. I don't feel like right now at all. I feel like he needs more work. I think he needs to train.
I think the work's over. I think when you're as old as he is, and you have a family, you have
Yeah.
a kid, and you've been doing it for a long time, and you're
done.
still where he is skill level, I think it's over. Me and him publicly had a big fight at when he had that Predator Pro show.
Yes, I
We had a
remember.
big blow up
Well,
in the
I wasn't
locker
there,
room,
but-
and I remember him coming to me and trying to hold me up for money, not paying me the agreed upon money. And he was telling me how me and him are the same, and we're equal, and I should be handing him money. And I remember saying to him, I was like, because you try to be humble, you try to be nice, you try not to be a dick.
You try not,
But I
exactly.
remember, I just looked at him, I said, I mean, let me quote Grim Reaper. I wish people could see my hand movements.
I love.
I'm
Kevin,
showing
by the way.
a hand high up in the air, and I say, Grim Reaper here, the New York State Athletic Commission here, and a big hand down here. That's how I felt. I felt Johnny Malloy here, Nightmare here, and the fact that you're trying to hold me up for money shows that we weren't on the same level, because I would
Exactly.
never do that to somebody.
Exactly. It's not, nothing as I said. I mean, it was very hard working with him because almost every show I would have everything would be, a problem. He would have a problem with everything we did, and I couldn't stand it anymore. So at that time, I just said, you know what? I gotta call Jerry.
Yeah. I gotta
And
complain. I gotta try to get out of this storyline. I gotta try to fuck up a year's worth of work.
Not that I wanted to fuck up a year's worth of work. I felt like you knew, I knew, and everybody else knew that Pancakes was worth more.
But sometimes you're the Shawn Michaels, and you were the Shawn Michaels on a much lower extent.
Damn.
And sometimes you're the Marty Jannetty. How do you think Marty Flames has felt his whole life being friends with Mike Magnum?
Wow.
You know, plants can't grow in the shade, and Marty Flames may be so short because he's always been standing in Mike Magnum's shadow. Let that simmer. Let that simmer down now.
Let it sizzle a little
okay.
bit. But don't get me wrong, I love both guys.
I can understand. So I can understand.
Both my brothers.
All my bullshit reasons for ever pulling out of the show come down to the same thing. Something got me really upset. And I haven't pulled out of that many shows. It's actually been more recently than in the past. But it was always someone was an asshole right before I had to wrestle. Someone was an asshole right before and got me to the point where I was just like, I can't, fuck it. Or it was the promoter was an asshole. We could do a whole hour binge on my time at 1CW of reasons I just couldn't do that shit anymore. But yeah, for the most part, it was always just, and I guess that goes with the whole mental health kick we're all on now. When someone gets you to that point where you're so low that you just feel like you can't even get up, where you can't even, your wrestling persona is you times 1,000.
Of course.
So when someone makes you to the point where you don't feel like you can be yourself at all, let alone times 1,000,
that's an uncomfortable situation.
Yeah, that's always been what has made me miss shows when it was a bullshit reason. For the most part, if I missed a show, it's because I was literally on death's door.
Yeah.
Or I got into a car accident a couple times.
I don't think you've ever intentionally walked out on a show. I don't think you've ever missed a show that you were booked on.
I walked out on one.
You've walked out on a show?
I kind of walked out. I was booked for Harold O'Hart's promotion, World's Finest Wrestling, and
okay.
I got there, and on the way there, I was told they were doing this big battle royal. No, it was a battle royal, and the last four were me, Jordan Grace, Rex Lawless, and somebody else.
Okay.
And basically, really hard to talk when you're coughing. You cough through the whole thing, which makes it really hard for them to follow or for me to stay on track.
My bad.
Oh man, you knocked me off track here.
Gotta get back
Last
on
four
track.
people, you, Jordan Grace, Rex Lawless.
Yeah, just, anyway, so, I was told what I was going to do, and you never tell a wrestler what he's going to do, because he always wants to have it promised to him, and he always wants to critique it, but I was happy. And I get there, and nobody will talk to me, nobody will give me a straight answer on what I'm doing. I just keep trying to reiterate that I'm good, and nobody will talk to me. The guy running it won't talk to me. None of the wrestlers that I was supposed to be working with seemed to have any idea I was in the match. And I just get told basically, I'm in the Rumble, I'm in the Battle Royal, do whatever I want with it, but shit got changed.
So that's
I was like, well, the last show I got stabbed in the head by Masada, and I broke Sonny Kiss's neck. There's a lot of steam. Not really, I love Sonny. But there's some steam here. What's going on? And
he never booked me, so...
So, the Battle Royal started, and I was standing there with Max Caster in the corner, and I looked at Max Caster and I said, don't fucking touch me.
Damn.
And he looked at me and he said, what? I was like, don't fucking touch me. And he looked at the guy next to me and said, don't touch him. So when the Battle Royal began, I was sitting on the top rope. I looked at the crowd, I put my legs over the top rope, dropped to the apron, sat down on the apron, dropped off the thing, walked backstage, grabbed my gear, thanked Harold for the time, and walked out.
Wow.
And that was my last world fight. I went from wrestling Masada and Sonny Kiss to, months and months and months, almost years later, I was actually told what happened, and it was this whole backstage politicking thing with an NXT guy, had wanted my spot, and he had talked Harold out of it, and I didn't deserve it, and I didn't have a name, and da-da-da-da. But nobody told me any of that, so I just got there, and I was just told, I just found out everything was gone. So that was when I walked out, but I still showed up. And even on the way there, I was getting some weird answers, so I knew some shit was going on.
Right.
But, I mean, that was like post-mortem walkout.
Well, at that point now, it's just people who are just gunning out for other people's jobs and spots, and at that point now, you're just an asshole.
that was the first time I really experienced it on that level. And it's weird that I didn't even know about it for like 2 years. Like, the guy who did it, I ended up hanging out with like 100 times, never knowing.
Really?
And then it wrapped all the way around. And it was like a weird thing. But I guess so. You know, I guess.
But you did the show.
Yeah.
You did the show.
And
You
this
did
was
your
out-
job. You know, in my opinion, if that's the case, and you did have a problem with somebody, or there was a problem in general, if you want to just go ahead, do your job, get your money, and leave, in my opinion, that's okay. Because you know what? If there's certain times, you know, if you don't agree and you want to just get the job done and go, that, in my opinion, that's fine. You know, the less time that you have to be there, the better. In some points.
Yeah.
So it's like, what you know. Yes, I'll always be, you know, I'll be there when you need me, but I'm going to be honest, this will be the time that if this is what you're going to do, and you're going to need me at this point, then I'll do it, but don't, you know, after this point, we're going to split ways.
The relationship, yeah. I guess, what it comes down to is, like, I mean, if I break my leg, I'm going to find a way to be there. If I tore my rotator cuff, I found a way to be there.
Right.
Any reason I'm going to find a way to be there. The only thing that can really has ever prevented me and leaned way to those bullshit reasons has always been where I felt like I was getting fucked around with, or I'd been devalued to the point of non-recovery. But
All right, we're hitting the 10-minute mark.
I guess that's everybody. That's a mental health issue for another day. Topic number 2.
Let's go.
Now, before we start topic 2, I want to be honest, because that's one of the things about this podcast. We're always honest, and we're real.
Yep.
And sometimes you're going to get uncomfortable stuff you're going to get from the heart because we've been doing this for so long and we care. And that topic, they're very random. We don't know them. The producer knows them beforehand. And that topic got really serious. Like a lot of backstage stuff and just so much that we couldn't even I couldn't properly touch on. And I know you were like, wow, this is a lot. And
Yeah.
I guess that our roads have been different.
You know what, to a point?
To a point, yeah.
Do I feel I do also agree it was a very strong subject. On that note, again, and I think we said this on there in the past.
Yeah.
You listen to a podcast to be entertained, to listen. If there's something that you don't necessarily like that's being said, that's okay. Because what's great about this country is that we do have the freedom of speech.
Sure.
And we're entitled to an opinion as well. And we don't expect people to retaliate on someone's opinion because, honestly, if you can't take criticism or you can't just listen and that be, you know, and that be it, then maybe you should really reevaluate yourself as a person. That's just my opinion.
I agree, and I think that one of the reasons I wanted to say this before topic 2 was we went so far in so many directions on the last topic because it got so passionate that I for one, would start something and I couldn't even finish it because my mind was jumping to the next thing. And I feel like that topic of a bullshit reason you didn't show up. Because I think every wrestler has it. Whether they're going to admit it or not, they had at least 1 or 2 times that they bullshitted not appearing.
Of course.
And I think that in itself might be its own episode. That might
really could be
a Schmoke and a Pancake's first, a Schmoke and a Round Table. I think that might be an episode in itself. Get a couple guys on just to talk about, just to be honest. Wear our hearts on our sleeve and say, hey, we're in the business. But you know how you called out of work sick from Planet Fitness when you didn't want to go?
Yep.
Well, you know what? Maybe you weren't sick, right? Wink, wink. Well, we have those moments too, and these So maybe we'll do that in the future.
But you know what? You know what's good about this show? Topic 2.
Topic 2.
Topic 2. What do we got, Nicole?
All right, this is a more upbeat topic.
How many puppies can you kill in an hour? Go! Boo, get over here!
All right, topic 2. Talk about your best match.
Oh, man.
Ooh.
Now, I love that because best can mean so much to so many different things. Like, a lot of people, when they think best in the world, they think, like, CM Punk.
Yeah.
But when I think CM Punk, I think flaming piece of shit.
Wow!
When I hear best in the world, when I hear best, I immediately think Chris Benoit. I immediately think Kurt Angle. I immediately think Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair.
Of course.
So I'm thinking quality. I'm thinking quality as far as the story. and quality as far as the wrestling. And that is such a hard, because we've had good story matches, we've had good wrestling matches, but what's the best one over freaking all?
Which is the one that stands out the most out of all of them? Now, before you go ahead and answer that, why don't we go ahead and light up a little bit more of this delicious greenery?
Oh, man. This is a good question.
Mm.
I can go first, but I know I'll dominate it, so it's up to you.
Probably.
All right. Man, well, there's been a lot of matches where I've learned a lot from. When I wrestled Matt Striker, I learned a lot, so I lean on that a little bit. When I wrestled Dame Wildchild Smith for the Outbreak Championship, I really liked that match, and my times with Sonny Kiss, albeit brief, are always fun. But if I had to pick my best match, I will pick the match where I felt like I could show me to the up team, the Beard Villain to the up team.
Okay.
And that was at Big Michael Scott's retirement show when I got to represent Rampage Pro Wrestling as the heavyweight champion, taking on Muddy Waters in a steel cage.
Nice.
That was because on so many levels, there was something about going in there and sharing that night with all the other companies, and our title match being just one of X amount of title matches, and seeing that stacked card of Sean Carr and Grimm and Kindred and all these really good wrestlers, and me and Muddy were the brawlers. And we said, in our heads, we're like, these boys, they can do whatever they want, but we're going to make it the roughest. And right before we walked out, the promoter came to us and said, I want to see a little color, boys. And I said, I thought the Athletic Commission said they were going to shut the show down if we bled. And he said, I got it. You handle the bleed. I'll handle the Athletic Commission. So Muddy. So I'll tell you this. This is funny. Okay, I think this is what makes my best match, because my realest match.
Okay.
First off, we didn't talk shit out. We just went out there and did it. It's a cage match. You just make it rough. You make people care. You make people want to see Muddy escape.
Right.
But my favorite part, before and after the match, Muddy comes to me and says, I'm going to bleed. I've never done it before. Can you do it for me? I said, fuck yeah, bro. I definitely can do it for you, having never done it before myself.
Wow.
So I make the gimmick, because Frankie Stars and Reefer had taught me how to make the gimmick. I make the gimmick. We go out there. Comes to the part we're supposed to do the gimmick. I get him mount, and I hit him. Boom, 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 with just big punches. Just boom, 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 boom. And I know there's going to be a second before he bleeds. So on the last punch, I lean in and I grab the razor right across his forehead. And then I grab his head and I jam it into the cage and I push his head on the cage. And then he puts his head back and I grab his head and I push. Not having seen the cut yet. Okay. And when I push the cut together. It squirts like a fountain into the air. Onto the crowd.
No! Oh, God!
Oh, it was gory, and it was against what the Athletic Commission wanted, and I knew...
Of course it was!
I knew they were getting fined, but I knew no one on the card could do what we could because we broke the rules, and that was such a me thing. Like, I'm a fucking New Yorker, and I'm down in Delaware, and I'm like, how do I fuck this little Athletic Commission up?
Oh, God.
Okay, but when we get backstage, and Muddy's all bloody, and he ends up getting like 7-8 stitches because I cut him deep. And I look at Muddy, and he gets up, and the whole locker room is looking at us because they're waiting, because they're thinking we're gonna go at it for real.
Right.
And Muddy looks at me, and goes, "That was a good match, you some bitch." And I look at Muddy, and in front of this multicultural locker room, I go, "Hey Muddy, you know why I love Delaware? Because it's the only state you can cut a black man and get cheered and paid for it."
Wow.
And he looks at me and goes, "Son of a bitch," and he just hugs me, and everybody just fucking starts clapping. Then Muddy's mother comes in the locker room. And she looks like that...
She won't whoop your ass!
You remember that lady that could pop her eyeballs out in the 90s?
No,
Make those that's what Muddy's mom looks like. And she comes in the locker room and she's trying to get through people to get to me. And she's saying stuff like, "You did that to my baby! You cut my baby!" And I look at the promoter and I say, "Listen, man, am I going to have to knock Muddy's mom out?" It was just the best story before. in the most competitive environment I'd ever been in, with the biggest chip on my shoulder, with a guy I like the most, wrestling in a place I like the most. So Muddy Waters, Beard Villain in a fucking steel cage for the heavyweight title. That's my number one. And that was 4 minutes and 55 seconds because I am great at timing things.
Wow. And that's why...
And that's why Matt Taven didn't pick me at that Northeast Wrestling tryout.
Wow.
I love Matt Taven. But continue. All right, you have 5 minutes to top me.
Okay.
When's the time you cut a black guy in Delaware? Go.
Wow. Anyway.
Muddy's good. Muddy, I'm the least racist person since Shaka Khan.
I love watching Muddy Waters. His kids are fantastic. Very, you know.
How many kids does he have?
I thought he had 2 kids, right? No, it's 1 kid.
Damn. I don't want to say. I think Muddy represents all fathers. We'll say that.
Let me tell you something. He's a very good guy. Very, never, you know, I don't have a bad thing to say about him. He's
Muddy's
really
amazing.
Nice guy.
I didn't pick him because he's my friend. I picked him because...
He's talented.
It's the best match.
He's talented, man.
He's very good.
Anyway, so I know what you're going to think is that my best match or whatever I feel would be when I won the Full Faith Wrestling International Championship.
Was I in that match?
No.
Oh, it's probably not your best then.
Damn. No, but you are on a top 5 list.
Top 5?
Yes. You're like number 2 to what I'm about to tell you.
2 of the ring dings you ate this morning, and who else?
Damn. A broom.
Kenny Omega wrestled a doll. Maybe that's what you got to do to get over.
Sometimes. Either that or bend over. Anyway,
He tells the PWR stories here. Continue.
I'm not saying a damn word. Anyway, so my favorite match, believe it or not,
Best
match. One of my best matches is going to be the tag team match.
Yeah.
The hardcore tag team match between me and Nightmare.
Yeah.
Versus Len Oddity.
Yeah, and Big Jim Sullivan. I don't remember the match at all. I remember the posters. I remember how hyped I was for it, but I don't remember the match.
Oh, man. Let's just say Potato City.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
First fucking stop.
I'm sure Big Jim Sullivan had a lot of potatoes.
Oh, let me tell you something.
He's great, but still.
No. He and I, like, we were all talking in the back, and me and Len, you know, I love Len Oddity. Very, you know, good friend of mine. I miss him dearly.
He's not dead.
I know he's not dead.
He lives upstate. That's what this quarantine has done. If you live upstate, you're dead. Continue.
No, I just... anyway, so we were talking in the back, and then me and Jim Sullivan are looking at each other like, so, can I work with you? He's saying this to me, and I'm like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I wonder why he wanted to do that.
Anyway, I'm not saying anything. Anyway, so, me and them, you know, we're talking, and then all of a sudden we go into the back. Oh, I'm sorry, we're about to go into make our entrance and whatnot. And, damn it, boo-boo!
Executive producer's getting a little antsy. Continue.
Anyway, so we're going out to the ring. We're about to start our match, and the first thing that happens, Jim Sullivan cracks me right in the freaking face. Boom with a forearm. As soon as I walked in, I'm like, damn! I didn't even get to fucking do my shimmy. You know?
He's asserting dominance.
Oh my god. I felt like we were fighting in prison.
Big dog in the yard right out of the gate.
I take Jim Sullivan, I started nailing him, he threw me into the barricade, blah, 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 blah. We went back and forth. And then there was a part in the match where me and Nightmare got Len in the middle.
Okay.
And we took a couple of sheep hands and we decided to play ping pong with the man's skull. Bang, 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 bang. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth,
Wait a minute. Wait. Just hold on a second. Let's just back it up here.
Yeah.
So, somehow these topics have tied together because we talked about how you made my life hell with Nightmare and you, but yet your best match... Oh,
yes.
Looky! Your best match was in that freaking tag team.
One of my best matches were in that tag team.
Your best. That was the topic.
Oh,
now,
come on!
So in the end, really, this is really both my best matches because I created both of them. I mean, that's crazy. You guys hated each other so hard, but
I
you
never
guys
said I hated the guy.
No, you just said you wouldn't give him a kidney if he needed it.
Nope. I'm saving my kidneys for a young child in Guatemala.
We got like 30
Wow, what a
seconds
waste.
left if you have anything else to say.
Baba Booey, Baba Booey, Baba Booey. Vote for.
Yeah, you can't. You
I
want to say
can't
Trump,
say it.
but you
Yeah, I
don't
don't
want
want
to
to
get
yeah,
monetized.
No, I'm
yeah.
good. Thanks.
All right. Well, topic 2. Weird topics.
All right, guys. Topic number 3.
3.
When do you know it's over?
You're the worst.
When she
You are the worst.
Random. They're picked at random.
Oh my god.
No.
This is the darkest, most miserable, saddest episode of this podcast.
How do you know when it's over?
You have. I'm gonna tell you, as a producer,
That's
6
dark.
episodes in, this is the one where you just failed.
Ooh.
You just
They're picked at random.
on the production,
Ugh.
the setup, the questions.
Ugh.
You have just tanked this.
Oh boy.
God. I mean, we're right now, we're about to get into this, and we're going to try to salvage this, but this is going to be hard. This is going to be the episode where we get the least views. I'll bet you like $20 this is the least viewed video, because this is going to be hard. This is dark, miserable stuff.
What are we repicking?
How do you know when it's over?
Jerry, how did you know when it's over? You know what? I'm going to take... You know what? How do you know when it's over? I'm going to tell you how you know when it's over. When you catch her in your bed, and then she's like, oh no, I don't know who he is. Man, I found that motherfucker in your bed.
That was racist.
No,
this episode's been very racially toned.
No, I'm talking about guy.
This is not a good episode. That was a very. That's not an impression of someone who.
Not at all.
It sounded like Muddy's grandpa.
Wow. I was not even going there at all.
Grandpa Waters. They call him Muck Waters.
How do you know when it's over? How do you know when it's over?
It's so sad. This is such a sad episode. This is so... And we didn't know. Me and Pancakes didn't know it was coming, but she's been sitting on this.
The topics are random!
She's really shitting on our couch tonight.
Yeah, this one's rough. How do you know when... And when they talk about when it's over, they're talking about your wrestling career when you put... How do you... Wow, man. This is one.
Ah, man. I don't know how to respond to that. How do you know when it's over?
When the injuries hurt even when the crowd is screaming.
When
no one's there
you know
anymore.
what? I'm going to give a quick answer, because maybe if we give a quick answer to this one, maybe we have enough time to maybe slip into another one.
I mean, that's not a format, but I mean, like, what's your quick answer to this?
I want to say my quick answer is just when the injuries keep building up and building up and building up. Because, you know, you got, yes, the glitz, the glamour, the lights, the entrance, the love, the cheering, the booing, everything that comes with the territory is all good, great, grand, and wonderful. But so do the injuries. So does the time off because of injuries. So is recovery. So is more surgeries, more this, that, and the other. And just, it keeps building up, and it builds up, and it builds up as much as your want and your devotion to the business. But you have to really understand that you're not superhuman. You know, if you can go ahead and put your body on the line every night, or even if you put your body on the line at all in a ring, a trained professional, you know, you're going to have injuries, you're going to have, you know, things happen to your body. You have to take care of your body. I'm not really one to go ahead and call the kettle black. And I really, I shouldn't be calling the kettle black. But, I have injuries that, I'm never going to heal from. But at the same time, I still keep going because I'm an idiot sometimes, But sometimes you just really need to really look at the bigger picture. Pretty much. What's more important? Your future with having a family and kids, or having potential, having more injuries, and
It's the old adage.
Yes.
I want to be able to know my grandkids' names.
exactly.
I want to be able to play with my kids. I want to be able to pick up the grandkids. I want to be able to function when you know it's over. It's not always injuries. It's not 100% of the time injuries where you know it's over.
Right.
A lot of guys don't know it's over. A lot of guys it's already over for and they never realized. I know people that have been doing this for a decade and it's been over for them since day one and they just don't realize it yet. When do you know it's over, man? It's such a hard thing to quantify, to put a definitive. Because you look at the Undertaker, and every year they tell him it's over. And look at the Graveyard match; it was phenomenal, pre-taped or not. It was phenomenal. I really enjoyed it, and I'm not a cinematic guy, and I enjoyed that. But look at Sting. Sting came back and looked reasonable, and then one wrong bump and he breaks his neck, and it's forcefully over. So I think sometimes you don't know it's over. It's just forced to be over.
Yeah.
But how do you know? What's the moment when you know it's over? Is it strictly your body giving out? Or is there a part of your mind? Is there a part of like it?
And that's the tricky. That's another tricky part of that question, because some people react differently to that question. Some people, think of different reasons as to why they would want to, call it a day.
Look at Mike Magnum. He thought it was over.
Exactly. He thought it was over. He thought that he was going to go ahead and get injured. Once he got injured, he thought he was going to be able to wrestle ever again. And look what happened.
I'm relatively
He's
close.
wrestling again.
I'm relatively close to Mike, and so are you. And being, the guy who injured him in his last match before that long span of time he was out, I remember talking to him about the realization that it was over and how, he knew it was over, but he knew it wasn't. And that's what Full Faith Wrestling was born from, the call to wrestling. But most guys don't make that transition to promoter or booker or whatever. And when it's over, it's over. You're a wrestler or you're a referee or a manager, whatever you are, and when it's over, it's over.
Yeah.
Some guys till the day they die, but most people have a expiration date. But how do you know when that is?
Look at Ric Flair. Let's talk about Ric Flair. I never thought in a million years I would see Ric Flair working in the ruthless aggression era of wrestling, but he did, and he was past that. And he's still a hot freaking commodity even at his age right now. But
I don't think he can work now.
I don't think he can't work, but I can guarantee you that if he could, he would.
Let me rephrase that. I think Ric Flair could probably gimmick something together that he would not hurt himself or someone else doing.
Correct.
But I don't think he would, because it would not be up to the standard that Ric Flair has put forth his whole career.
I agree with that. I agree with that statement. I feel like I do. I feel like he. But this is really hard.
Okay. When would I know it's over? And I think that's just tough, man. I mean, this is an ender. This definitely is an end topic, but this was a sad episode.
Yeah.
No one gets...
Someone shat in our Cheerios.
If you enjoyed this episode, please let me know why you enjoyed this episode. Okay. I'll know it's over when it's not the thing I look forward to most every single week.
Wow.
I'll know it's over when I'm holding back the person I'm wrestling. When they're not holding me back, when I'm holding them back. I'll know it's over when I know there's more to learn, but I'm incapable, physically or mentally, of learning that.
Right.
I'll know it's over when the few people, the Six Toes and the Teresas, when those few people are looking at me and they're hoping it's over, I'll know it's over. When the people that supported me for the longest are ushering me to the door I'll know it's over. I don't think it'll be a body thing because my knees shit every day. You know, my jaw's been broken for how long? I don't think it'll be a body thing. I remember on the Jericho cruise, I did that masseuse, and the guy told me I was more beaten up than every other guy he's ever massaged.
Wow.
You know, I don't think it'll be interesting, but I think those are the intangibles that say Johnny Malloy, Beard Villain, Beard Life, whatever you want to call me, it's over.
The Collector.
The Collector, that was a fun gimmick.
That was funny.
But I think that's when I'll know it's over, man.
How much longer on this?
We're on the last, 30 seconds, so.
Oh.
You guys want to wrap it up?
Oh, boy. I think that was rough.
Yeah, man, I mean, it's literally, what was the first topic?
Bullshit reason to
So it was
no
it
show.
was talk about a reason you didn't do the thing you loved. And then what was the second one?
Best match.
Talk about something you love the most and were so proud of. And then the third was talk about the day you die. It was talk about when you were shit, when you fucked the business over and you didn't do the right thing by it.
Mm-hmm.
Then the second one,
Talk about your best match.
talk about when you were on top of the world and you felt like you gave a shit and this business benefited from you. And then it's when the business is done with you. This was a life cycle. This really was all the way through. You suck, you fuck the business, you praise the business, you did a thing, and now it's done with you. This was a it's fucked up episode. Yeah, yeah. I mean, this is the format. I mean, it's random. That's the format. Topic 3. Well, I mean, that's 3 topics down. You know, it's kind of the pick your poison of the show. I mean, we don't know how it's going to go. We don't know what the topics are going to be.
Exactly. You know, sometimes it's going to be, a show where it could be informative, or it could be a personal show. It could be a funny show. It could be, something where it could be just a little bit of everything.
But this is kind of a life show. This was the of the
if
first
you're a
6
wrestler
episodes.
and you know who you are, and you're listening out there, if you understand where we're coming from and what we're trying to say from our experiences, listen. To be honest, let's be honest with ourselves. We're 1 in a million. But we're trying to stand out as much as we can.
Let's be honest with ourselves. We're 1 in a million.
Yep.
You literally said, let's be honest. Then you followed it up with, we're each Michael Jordan.
Yep.
Let's be honest. Talking about certain subjects here, when we miss the show, man, that's when we shit on the business. That's when we let the business down. Then you're talking about your best match. You're talking about when you gave to the business, when you felt you were most a part of it, you did the best.
Right.
And then you tell them when it's over, we're going through a whole life cycle of a wrestler, man. And I wish we were just sitting here phoning it in. We were just bullshitting and we just didn't care. But, it's got us both in a shit mood. It literally took this really happy mood where we're let's film another one spontaneously. And now we're both fuck, man, at some point this is going to end. Fuck, I don't want to give up the memories. It's just hard on your sleeve, man.
I blame Boo Boo because she's the one who picked the numbers.
Yeah. Yeah,
that bitch.
That stupid dog.
Dumb bitch.
Gonna put her down tomorrow.
Dumb bitch.
Animal shelter is running a 2-for-1 deal. My mom's cat's been being an asshole.
Damn.
Yeah, man, it's just, we were honest with you guys. I know I was. I think Pancakes, or you were. It's just what a set of topics. All the 5 episodes have been crazy and off the wall and fun and upbeat, and this is the first one which is
You know what? Sometimes you hit and miss,
Yeah, man, I'd rather watch...
Again, we honestly, and we cannot stress this enough, we do not control what topics are picked, because they are picked at random.
Yeah.
This
is life, man. It's random.
Yeah.
Life is like a box of chocolates.
You never know what you're gonna get.
I mean, that's the truth, man. Forrest Gump said it well.
Sometimes
whoever wrote that book,
active grenades.
Yeah.
I'd say Pancakes jinxed it because he didn't start the show saying we have a hell of a show for you today.
Oh,
Without knowing the topic.
Oh yeah, you always say that, don't you? And then I always remind you we don't do those topics. That's crazy.
Damn. You know what? Maybe some traditions are never meant to be broken.
Yeah, you jinxed us. No, this was a rough episode. I'd rather watch 1,000 Cliff Roush matches What?
No, you wouldn't.
No, I
That's
wouldn't.
ridiculous.
I don't-
Guys, make sure you buy that kid's t-shirt. Give him something to
He's
do.
a savage, man. You know, you're gonna have ups, you're gonna have downs. Everything can't be all rainbows and kittens. I've said that at Full Faith Wrestling many times, and it all can't be sunshine. You appreciate the light when you have the dark. Yada yada yada.
When she's gone.
Ain't no sunshine. Yeah, there's no. We don't have much soul for this show. Because the soul's been sucked out of it, guys.
Soul.
I wish I could say. I promise you. Next episode is going to be so much more upbeat and so much this. I mean, it's probably going to be, because we're going to be drinking whiskey and smoking green. So it's probably going to be more upbeat than this, but hey, man, listen. If you guys felt something in this episode, if you have something you want to talk about, whether it's mental health, your best moment, your worst moment, how you think it's going to end, how you feel about what we said, I mean, this is the one to interact on, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you know, you guys have something you guys want to talk about or want us to talk about, send us a comment. You guys can follow us on Instagram, Facebook,
YouTube, Twitter.
Smoking a Pancake podcast.
I just hired Marty Flames to do skywriting over the Balloon Festival in August.
Oh, wow!
Yeah, I mean,
They
call him the One-Eyed Bandit now.
Damn.
And with that said, episode 6, you have been a bitch. You've been a bitch.
Yeah, you've been a bad girl.
And we're going to divorce ourselves. You're going to be an ex-wife that's a bitch for a while.
Oh.
I raise a glass to 6 episodes in the tank. Thank you all. Another shot.
I think we need this after this episode.
Yeah, man.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Sweet dreams, my sweet princesses and princes.